Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Joining us right now is Orla Carberry, who went through a traumatic and terrifying experience a couple of years ago when she saw her daughter nearly drown at a pool, and has since then embarked on a mission to spread awareness surrounding children's water safety to make sure no one has to go through what you went through. Welcome to the show.
Thank you guys.
Welcome to the show, Orla. Now, how many years have you been in Dubai?
We've been in Dubai over 14 years, so came on our own, just myself and my husband. He came over to start working in the Burj Khalifa, and then we've 3 children later, so there's a family of 5 now.
Oh wow! Started working on the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah.
What was he doing?
So he's construction. But no, he's his own firm. So so we have 14 years. It's gone very quickly.
Your kids were born and brought up here in Dubai?
The girls actually, and even Aoife, were born. I went back to Ireland to have them, and Connor I stayed and had he was born here, so he thinks he's Emirati. Half Emirati, half Irish.
I mean, might as well, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we love it. This is our home.
This is your home. And today our conversation is going to be all about water safety for kids, because you went through, like we were saying, a traumatic experience. Can you just do you mind looking back to June 21st, 2016, and just kind of go through that moment to share with everyone?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I set up Aoifes campaign really to raise awareness and educate on water safety after we almost lost Aoife to a drowning accident in a private swimming pool here in Dubai. I thought I had done everything right that day. Both myself and my husband were very much into water safety from the day they were born. We're fortunate we're living in Dubai, we're surrounded by water, and like I say, I thought that we both had done everything to educate them and keep them safe, as you would do for your kids. So Aoife was almost 5 years old. She was a very strong swimmer, and I was less than 10 feet away from her. So it wasn't that I wasn't looking after her, I was supervising her. There was lots of kids in the pool at the time, and girls being girls, they love being mermaids. She was swimming to the bottom of the floor. I seen her about 5 minutes before that, going through my legs, playing games. But what I didn't realise that there was a vacuum cleaning system, a drain deep at the bottom of the pool, flush with the wall. And kids being curious with a vacuum, she had taken a leaf and went to put the leaf into the vacuum. And I, like I said, I was unaware of this. What I'd say to your viewers is that the suction from these drains can be over a ton in suction. When she went to put a leaf into the vacuum, it sucked her arm in, and with incredible force, and she couldn't release it. So not even an adult would be able to do that. So there was several faults on that day in terms of the manufacturer. There was no cover on the drain. It was a newly installed pool. There was no cover on it. And plus as well, there should be dual vacuums. So there should have been an anti-entrapment cover on it, and there should have been like a shut-off mechanism. So if something happens like that, an accident, then everything just shuts down. Unfortunately, in Aoife's case, that didn't. And Aoife, with the force that had been sucked in, and we couldn't get her released. She became trapped for approximately 3 minutes. As you know, that's a very, very long time, as I'm sure you're aware, to be trapped underwater. When we realised she was trapped, she was unconscious and had already suffered a cardiac arrest. She was motionless. By the time we were able to get her released, my friend called emergency services. I worked on Aoife. Fortunately for me, I'm an occupational therapist by profession, so I had CPR training. And once we had got her released, it was like an out-of-body experience. It was like an out-of-body experience. So I started working on Aoife while my friend's on with emergency services. It seemed like an eternity, but something that I wouldn't wish on anybody. But eventually, after about, I don't know how long it would take, 40 seconds to a minute, Aoife choked, and God gave her back to me. So undoubtedly, Aoife is a miracle, and from that day, I set up Aoife's campaign. But sorry, what I wanted to say was that even when Aoife regained consciousness, she wasn't out of the woods. She was then transferred to. It took 20 minutes, for the ambulance to arrive. So what I want to say is that had I not known CPR that day, Aoife would not be here today. And she remained critical in ICU then for 3 days. But went on, the happy ending was that she went on to make a full recovery. And so from that day, I've been just so passionate, and as a family, just wanting to drive forward water safety so that can prevent as much as possible happening to another family. Sorry. Even though it happened a long time ago, I live with it every day. So it was a very traumatic event. But, you know, from this, I was given a voice. I feel like I have a huge responsibility to educate and to turn around an extremely traumatic event into something very positive, so that I can use my experience and my knowledge to give life-saving information to as many people as I can. Because like I say, she's a miracle, but I know that by setting up Aoife's campaign, undoubtedly, I know to date she's saving lives, and I'm super proud. So
We're so sorry you had to go through that.
No, I know.
And
Thank you.
It's beautiful that she recovered. It's almost like God sent that this happened for you to send this message, spread it around.
It's
save
weird.
other
I have this
children.
huge responsibility, because I know, you know, from doing my research after starting the campaign, there are so many parents that I've connected with who are not in the fortunate position that I am. And with my own medical background, you know, from working in neurology, Aoife is a miracle statistically to be alive. So she is here for a reason. It happened for a reason. And you know what? You just have to, I'm very much a believer of that. You just have to go forward and turn it around so you can prevent it happening to somebody else if you can. But I've been, you know, it's not an easy story. And I just want to say that, you know, it's not an easy story. And I struggle with it every day. But I am so passionate about it to get that information out there. It's hugely important.
You're sharing the information now, and first of all, thank you so much for sharing that, because obviously it's not easy, and even for us, I know it's traumatic. You shared the story, and you described this kind of idyllic day at the pool, which you know, we do it, and then you go with your family, and you know, your kids are swimming through your legs, and it's this gorgeous day that we all love and appreciate in Dubai. And you also said that before, you know, the kids have grown up in Dubai, and you thought that they were educated as much as they could be educated. So pre this, what had that meant in terms of what did water safety education mean to you before this day?
Yeah, well, before this day, I mean, you know, so both my husband and myself love water anyway. But I always saw swimming as a water skill that everybody should have, from children right up. So even what I'd say to your viewers, if you're an adult and you can't swim, don't be embarrassed. You know, you can learn at any point in your life. And it is a life skill, because it's so important.
So true.
And by having swimming, you know, as a life skill, it could save your life or somebody else's, you know. So it's so important. But for what I thought we'd done, you know, we'd always spoke about water safety. From the children were babies, once they were immunized, we had them in water safety classes. So from they were 12 weeks old, getting them water safety confident, you know, starting to learn the skills, you know, in terms of like holding onto the wall and various things like that, but giving them confidence to be around water, that they're not scared. I mean, water is fun. I'm not trying to scare the viewers or to scare children, but, you know, you want everybody to have fun in the water, but, you know, and water is life, but, you know, it's imperative that people know that there's hazards that come with it. But I thought we'd done that. I thought, you know, we'd educate. But the one thing that I didn't know that day was drains. And so through no fault of my own on that day, you know, and that's why I stress when I'm talking about, I was supervising. She was a strong swimmer, but an accident still happened because of a manufacturing fault. And since I've set up the campaign, so many people are unaware of the drains. And, you know, it causes entrapment not only in terms of limbs, but hair, swimming costumes, jewelry. So, you know, it was something I had no idea about. And had I have known that day, of course, I would have been, you know, so it's one of the biggest things. But the children were all swimmers. So, you know, apart from Connor, our youngest, who I had in my arms that day, and I was trying to encourage and promote him to be water safety confident, but, you know, I'm trying to teach him. But no, the children were in the water from 12 weeks old. Oh. And we were always with them. And we were these parents who were always watching them. So, you know, imagine if I'd gone in for a cup of coffee and thought, oh, they can swim, you know, or gone to answer the phone or gone to do something or go use the bathroom. You know, I didn't do that. And yet the accident still happened. So it's really important. I was a responsible parent and, the kids were able to swim, but it you know, accidents happen, and for whatever reason it happened. So, you know.
According to you, what would you say are 5 very important water safety regulations parents and children should follow that aren't necessarily very standard? You know, like not everyone knows of these precautions.
Well, you know, the biggest things that I really like speak about, what I've just said, and one of the things is getting your children in the water, and a good swimming class from early on is massive. If you have a pool, please get a pool fence up. You know, with all will in the world, we try to supervise our children 24/7. But you know, if you've more than one child, life is busy. You can get distracted. You know, I'm not perfect either. So, you know, a pool fence creates that obstacle in between the house and the water. You know, so it's creating that obstacle. And I'm very fortunate in that one of the partners that's with me, Baby Secure, is one of the leading pool fencing companies, and they're as passionate in terms of water safety as I am. But having a pool fence as well. So that's the second thing. I mean, with children as well, it's learning. I mean, I'll speak about the workshop, but learning things like safety around beaches. I really can't stress enough as well. It's stressing the importance of the role of lifeguards. There's not enough respect for lifeguards here. They do an amazing job within the UAE, both at pools, at beaches. You know, they're there to keep us safe, but there is not respect. I've seen it. I've witnessed it in hotels. I've witnessed it in other, and there is so much lack of respect, and my heart breaks for them because, you know, they're not on huge incomes, but they're passionate about what they're doing, and they're there to save lives and keep everybody safe. But, you know, equally, the main responsibility is with the parents or caregiver who should be looking after their children. But, you know, the lifeguards are there. You should only be swimming, you know, the children need to be educated that they should only be swimming within the designated parts of beaches. And, you know, where the flag, you know, where it's safe, the flags are up for it's safe to be swimming. So knowing and the awareness around that. So having the respect for lifeguards is a big thing for me. You know, they work so hard for where we live. To keep us safe. So lifeguards, the swimming lessons. When children are older, and for parents, I think it's very important to learn CPR. I mean, I was fortunate that I had that, but I think that you know, CPR is something that children should learn from the age of 12, 13. I feel very strongly that it's something that water safety and CPR is something that should be as a curriculum within schools. That children should be learning it, but also as parents we have that responsibility to do that ourselves. But you know, I feel it should be, but also as well in healthcare facilities, I think they also have a responsibility. Who are seeing children from their born, so pediatricians, our leading healthcare professionals, healthcare facilities have a role as well, and getting that information out to parents. So I would love at some point to be able to collaborate with them, and but yes, so just getting the education out there.
You mentioned since 2016 that obviously you're spreading awareness, but also you're hearing people's stories as well. I've never heard of a situation like this, but how common is it, and how aware do parents need to be?
It's very common, and not just, I mean, particularly with the drains, not just in private swimming pools, but also hotel pools. And one other thing that I forgot to mention is hot tubs and jacuzzis. So you also have these vacuum systems and drains in jacuzzis. So what I always stress to children is that, and to parents, the education, anybody who's with children, is to basically stay away from drains. So if you see a faulty drain, to report it immediately to an adult, to an adult so that it can be repaired, or if it's a lifeguard or wherever you are, just report it. But ultimately to stay away. Educating parents and children to keep hair, for children for long hair, have the hair tied back. Another thing, like as well, as I said about the jewellery, remove jewellery when they're in the swimming pool. Like even just ties on like swimming shorts. I mean,
wow, they can suck.
Yeah, they can be sucked. So I mean, I've seen some horrific injuries where children haven't survived. From the like I said, it can be over a ton of suction where they've been sucked in. I mean, you know, I have on my Instagram page, you know, photographs of Aoife when she was in ICU, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So, you know, she was sucked in from her elbow, and you just could not release her. So at one point, we didn't even think of shutting off the device, or it should have a, in addition to an anti-entrapment cover on the drain, it should have an automatic shutting off system. This pool didn't. So, you know, we were thinking things, God, are we going to have to cut her arm? She was gone anyway. Are we going to have to cut her arm off to release her? I mean, this is how awful. So even when we got to ICU, you know, we had to get a vascular surgeon to see, because she'd been suctioned for so long, you know, was there a pulse there? Was there, you know, so there was various things that were discussed at that time. But there's been some horrific injuries for children. And when I've been designing the workshop and stuff, it's absolutely heartbreaking. And like I say, you know, I've witnessed it. I've been there. We all think as parents, accidents are never going to happen to us, to our own door. It did to me and our family. And but I've turned it around. And, you know, I've got well, it's hard every day. I focus on the positive, and I know undoubtedly that Aoife is a miracle, and she's a wee angel, and well, most of the time, but I wouldn't knock her much, but she has this aura around her, and she's just, I love the multiplicity, but she's here to save lives. And that's what I'm trying to do.
She is the chosen one.
She is amazing, yes, yeah.
I have to say, in school, you know, you're given all these regulations before you go into the pool, and I was just like, they're so unnecessary, like me and my friends. You just really belittle them. And now I understand, like, just the importance of this and all the problems it could lead to if they're not followed to the T.
Yeah, I mean, where there's water, there's a risk of drowning. So a child can drown in less than 2 inches of water. A small child can drown less than. So this is the thing.
That is a shocking fact.
Yeah. So in a bath, in a house, a child can drown in less than 2 inches of water. So, you know, and one of the really staggering statistics from the WHO, so 2019, 236,000 people drowned. And that's mammoth. That's mammoth. And what I would say is that drowning is 100% preventable. So, you know, it's 100% preventable. And it's just a matter of getting the education and implementing preventative measures so that it doesn't happen.
And this is why we're here, and this is why it's so incredible that you're sharing your story and you're moving it forward with the amazing Aoifes campaign, and you have the support of Spinneys. So let's talk about kind of like who's supporting this and how we're getting it out there. Yeah. It's in English, it's in Arabic, we have workshops, and you're going to schools, I think.
I am so emotional about this because, you know, this hasn't happened in a day. It has been, and it's just me. I've been working on it tirelessly for the last few years, but particularly like since the start of the pandemic. I like endless hours, as my husband will tell you. But I've been really fortunate in that Spinneys, which is a massive brand, as you all know, and the viewers know, it's one of the leading supermarket chains in the UAE. They've supported me in the last 2.5 years, and are as passionate in what I've been doing, and I'm so proud. So I worked together initially with them in designing a water safety pack. So within this, you have a fridge magnet, and I wanted a fridge magnet because I thought, okay, how many times do you go to your fridge during the day?
True.
So it has the key information on. So I mean, and the children have been very involved. Like the kids, our own children, are so proud in terms of what we're doing. We don't talk about the event, but it's about educating water safety. So they're so proud. But you know, they designed the logo, which I absolutely love, and it's in Arabic as well. But this is a fridge magnet, and it has information around what's called layers of protection. So there's 4 layers of protection. So you've got A for adult supervision, B for barriers, C for classes, and D for drains. So all the information is on the water safety magnet. So you have this on your fridge. It's just a little checklist, so it keeps reminding you every day. And then within the water safety pack as well, you have it's called a water watcher wristband. This is something that I felt so strongly about, and it's basically enhances the role of supervision. So basically, whoever is looking after the kids, whether it be in a pool, on a beach, you wear this, you have 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, to give undivided sole attention to look after the children who are in the water. That means undivided attention, not on your phone, put away your devices, you know, challenge your friend. This is your responsibility to continually scan and look after the kids. Then after 10, 15 minutes, you pass it to somebody else. So somebody might say, because I know frequently if kids were at a pool party, which we actually don't do anymore, you know, I'm just too nervous. But, you know, you get distracted and you think, oh, well, I thought they were looking after them. Or, you know, so with this, this is the person who's responsible for 10, 15 minutes. So we designed that in the water safety magnet. After that, I wasn't done, and I thought my head was working overtime during lockdown. And I spent hours and hours researching, and took about 10 months to write a water safety workshop. And Spinneys will continue to support me with that. So I wrote the workshop, and it's basically a 2.5-hour workshop that designed for children really 6 to 13. and it's to educate kids on the hazards, kids, parents, families, on the hazards and risks around water, and primarily then to give kids the tools to learn how to be safe in and around water, whilst still having fun. So Spinneys, we're running a water safety campaign in Spinneys at the moment. We're promoting that. And then I wrote a book which goes with the workshop, but it's also in Spinneys at the moment.
And we had Aoife's design on the front, I believe.
Aoife's design in front, and Aoife actually designed Stanley the Starfish. He's in his lifeguard uniform. It's a fun, interactive book. It's in all the major stores in Spinneys at the moment. And I'm so proud that it's in Arabic as well for our Arabic-speaking population. This makes me quite emotional.
Could we see the pages?
Of course. So that's the Arabic one.
They're in your Arabic.
And basically, it's fun, it's interactive, it covers, they can personalise it, it covers all aspects of water safety. It looks at, water safety not only within the home, pools, jacuzzis, water parks, wadis, lakes, teaches children as well how to be safe, say around those water safety situations, making them think, but also what to do in an emergency situation. So, who to call, what to do if they get into difficulty or if somebody else gets into difficulty, like, reach, throw, don't go, and water safety code and things like that. So, but it's really fun and interactive. So that's in all 11 stores in Spinneys at the moment. And I'm super proud. So it's in Abu Dhabi, 9 stores in Dubai, and then it's going into Sharjah and Ras Al Khaimah. So Spinneys have been amazing. I'm so proud. And then Baby Secure, who are the pill fencing company, are partnering with me as well, and are as passionate about that as well. And they do the pill fencing, that's in the B for the barriers, and that's really to, as I say, the pill fence creates the obstacle and the barrier around the pill, to prevent children from wandering close to the water when there's a lapse of supervision.
These books are amazing, so interactive. I mean, if schools buy them in bulk and just distribute them to the kids during the PE lessons, especially.
Yeah, I've had a couple of schools have reached out to me at the moment, so that's what we're hoping on. But also, I'm hoping to, I talk about water safety to everybody. So no matter where I go, I'm talking about it daily. So, I'm hoping to get in, I can do workshops one-on-one with families, which I've done.
This is the thing, if people want to reach out to you and just to learn more, how can they do that? Because unfortunately we're running out of time, but just how can they get in touch with you?
I know, I could talk about it all day. So yeah, I can do the workshops one-on-one. I can do forums in schools, sports groups, communities, and yeah, so I will go wherever the companies, I'll go talk about water safety because, for anybody who has children but it's not, what, I'm focusing very much on children, but, a lot of drowning happens here as well to adults as well who can't swim. But a big thing just that I want to say as well is that, I'm trying to create a culture of water safety, as a movement to move forward. I want just to kind of waken people up to have families engaged at home and talking about water safety, that it becomes a norm, and that they go through their checklist. But I also, from the outset, when I set up the campaign, was to make the information accessible, so that it's not just for people who can afford a book or have water and, to afford a workshop. I want the information to be accessible across all socioeconomic groups, and that in the future, everybody will have access to swimming lessons and CPR and, but I am looking for partners to support me because it's, it doesn't run on air, and I want to eventually be doing some more research on the reasons, the main causes of drowning, in terms of demographics, location, and then getting the implemented measures, in place. So I would love to be doing that and education.
So how could people contact you?
So I've been working so hard on the social media, so in terms of Instagram, Facebook, so it's Aoife's campaign, which you'll have up on Lovin Dubai. But also, the best bits I think are through social media.
Okay.
And people are reaching out, and the feedback has been amazing in terms of testimonials, and it's so rewarding. And that's where, if there's days where I feel a bit, God, it's hard, and but when I get the testimonials, it makes everything worthwhile.
And even right now, there's people saying, look, fantastic word, what an amazing experience. You're highlighting water safety. So we can just see the comments coming in. And of course, we're going to share more in the story because we really want to get the message across. But
Thank
to you, a massive thank you. I just have memories of playing like penny toss in pools when I was younger. And now I know for parents, it's just terrifying to rehear that story from you. A terrifying experience. So we really appreciate you sharing it. And we really hope to help you spread the word. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I mean, I just say, what could be more important than advocating life? You know,
Very true. Thank you so much
for the platform. Thank you.
Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Device Show. We're back with you every single weekday morning. A massive thank you to Orla, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Thank you.